Good afternoon and welcome back to Living on a UK State Pension. I'm not going to do the rest of the introduction because it's not necessary now, although I have to say I am going to continue to live on my state pension and save part of my civil service pension, but I'm no longer going to be as strict as I was. Now, my year was up last weekend, and what did I learn from it? What did I achieve? Well, obviously I got through the year. I still got savings in my account. I've paid for everything. I've still gone to my gym. I've still run a car, etc., etc. And I've had someone say, "Oh, don't do too well, just in case the government are looking on." Well, I took that as in the vein it was meant as a joke. I didn't take it seriously. But yes, I am one of the lucky ones. I don't have some of the bills that people have. I don't have high energy bills. I'm constantly looking for deals for my energy. I am fortunate my bungalow faces south. It was on my tick list when I bought it. It had to face south. It had to have a minimum of 2 bedrooms. It had to have a garage. And it had to have a driveway for more than one car. They were the things that I would not budge over. Didn't necessarily care about the condition of the bungalow, but they were the staple things that I needed before I'd even consider looking at a bungalow. And this ticked all the boxes, absolutely ticked all the boxes. The garden's probably slightly bigger than what I would have wanted, especially when I've got the whole corner plot, but I blew the budget and I paid for the whole corner to be landscaped. And that's where £12,000 of my money went, 12,000 just on landscaping. So you can see how quickly you go through money. You really can when you are renovating. I mean, so much we could do inside because my husband helped me. I can plan a kitchen to the last centimetre. I've done it in so many houses that we have renovated. I know the size of units. I know when you need a spacer in between. I can do it with my eyes shut, plan a kitchen. So I did that. I drew it on the wall and then I went and just said, "Can you price it up?" And just for the units alone, it was £5,000 because they are oak. They're oak units that have been painted. So yeah, that was no worktop, no sink, no additional things. And I even paid for the shelving for the larder separately through Amazon because they wanted, trying to think, I got the kitchen units from Wicks and they wanted £500, £450, £500 for the pull-out shelves for the pantry. And I said, no, there's no way I'm paying that. No way whatsoever. And again, I went to a worktop company, had the worktop cut and it was delivered and we fitted it. It's hard work. There's no two ways about it. It's hard work, but it was graft I was prepared to put in. So was my husband. And I have done exactly the same with him. I've painted, I've rubbed down, I've stripped every inch of wallpaper at his house. The last thing he needs to do in his place when he's better, because he's had quite a few illnesses one after the other, is he's going to order his kitchen. I've planned it for him. He's going to order it and I will go and help him fit it. I'm the foreman. I know that sounds daft, but I can follow plans. So can my husband. But I know order of things when things need doing. And I'm good with that, even if I say so myself. I will make the units up and I'll say, right, no, it's not worth doing that unit. Let's make this one up next because we're going to need that after the next space. That is the next unit. So we need a 600 space, then a unit. and we can start working back from that wall. So, because you are going to get, I had it with the kitchen where Wix, the guy came out to double check my measurements, and he said, that's not possible. It's not possible what you've done. So I said, yes, it is. Look at the wall. Look where I've put the units. I'd marked it out in pencil completely. You know why it wasn't possible? Because they had put one more 15mm spacer in than was necessary. And I said, I don't need that spacer. I don't need it to protect any of my units from heat. I just need one spacer to move the unit over, the bottom unit over, so that I've got the same distance away from the fan at the top. I said to him, please bear with me. I said, I have done at least 10 kitchens in my lifetime. I have planned them to the centimetre. And he took that out. When he got back, he took it off the CAD drawing, and he said, he phoned me up and he said, you're right. He said, if I move that, he said, it makes it right. He said that, but you don't need that other spacer, 15mm spacer. Looking back over the year, it had ups and downs, didn't it? It really did. You know, most of it was quite straightforward, sticking to budget. But then I had my door. A stone came out of my lawnmower and smashed my window. And I had 3 prices, and I went with the guy. Yes, he was the cheapest, but B, all the windows, because it's over a certain size, have to be grade A anyway. So I was covered with that technicality that they've got to be a certain value, as in double glazing value, when they are over a certain height and width, because of the possibility that, you know, the glass could come out once it's hit. It could fall on somebody and injure them. So it has to be toughened glass, and it has to be grade A or whatever. But anyway, the guy conformed, and that's what it was, and that's what he fitted. So I had that. I then had a nail in my tyre that was unexpected and had to pay for. I know it was only £30, but it's £30 that can be a hiccup because you haven't allowed for it. Everything else with my car, I allow for. I run a car. On average, it costs me, I suppose you could say, £20 a week when you think about it. £50 a month for petrol. Then I've got £250 top end insurance, although mine's nothing like that, but I allow that just in case something happens. £190 for road tax, and then £60 for the MOT. And again, that's if there's nothing wrong with it. So I add a little bit more on, so I'm covered for my car, and that is an essential to me. I dread the time I've got to give up driving, I really do, but there we are. I also had a weekend away. I went to the caravan with my children, we played bingo, I helped pay for various things. Some of that came out of one of my nationwide bonuses, just as I used one of my bonuses to give as a wedding present to my nephew. I've mentioned the gym. I pay for my gym. That's an added extra that I will not give up. That's £29 a month that I pay for that. And it's money well spent. I've also bought clothes and shoes, some of them second-hand, some of them new. So, yeah, I covered most things. Did I feel deprived? Occasionally, but the further I got into the challenge, shall I say, the less deprived I felt, because I'd got into a routine of not going to my other bank account to just help myself when I fancied something or wanted something. And once I got into the routine, everything became second nature. Preparing food for the freezer, making sure so many meals came in under a certain amount of money to bulk up what I had in the freezer. Keeping meals healthy, keeping me on track, slimming world-wise, so not too much fat, etc., etc. There's nothing worse than feeling deprived, to throw you off what you want to do. So as you know, I always made sure I had cake, and at the beginning I had biscuits, now I have dates, and you saw me make some chocolates. I will have skinny bars this month as a treat, because on Monday I'll be opening my calendar starting on Monday. My friend was really pleased with hers when I took it down and the plant. She was really over the moon and looking forward to Monday already. So I think when you start something like this, and I remember back to doing it before when I was frugal in Essex, at first it was sort of like haphazard, a little bit. But then you get into your stride. And as someone else has already said on here, more than one person has said, when you're in your stride of being frugal, spending money with thought. Frugal I don't consider penny pinching. Frugal I mean I think before I spend. There is nothing I won't spend on if I think it's worth it. That's my policy. It's got to be worth what I'm shelling out for it before I pay for it. As I say, what I noticed is it becomes a little bit of a competition with you and the shops and getting the best value for money. You start to shop around straight away. I sometimes scroll through of a night time to see whether the coffee I buy is on offer. I have not paid full price since over a year, probably 2 years if the truth be known. I have not paid full price. I have not allowed myself to run out of it, and I will stock up when it is on offer so that I'm not paying stupid money like £8 a jar. The recent one I purchased, I think, was £6.50, 2 for £13, £6.50, something like that. I've also found an app called Trolley, and you can Google food on there and see who's coming out the cheapest. I think they compare Morrison's, Tesco's, sometimes B&M, I think, on there. I could be wrong. I've only used it a couple of times, so I'm not used to it yet. But if I get a chance, I will show it to you. The competition that you have, can I get through this month on the £80 I've got, sort of thing. You find yourself shopping with purpose, with definite intent to bring in on budget. So you skim over things that you don't really need because you know what you need to make the meals with what you've already got. Reverse shopping, as we've spoken about before. You know what you've got in your cupboard, you know what you've got in the freezer, and now you need to make a list of stuff to make those into meals. So you're not buying stuff willy-nilly that you don't really need. Therefore, you are saving money because you're not wasting. You know you've got your green veg in the freezer. You know you've got chicken in the freezer. You know you've got stock cubes in the cupboard. But you've got no onions, you've got no carrots, and you've got, something else is missing. So you go out to buy your onions and your carrots and maybe potatoes, and you know you can make your chicken, your stock cubes and everything else into a healthy meal, including the greens out, your green beans out of the freezer. And that's the way it is. Which brings me on to my garden. Obviously, I grew things in my garden as well. And you can grow stuff in pots. You can grow stuff on a patio. I've even seen people grow on a tiny, tiny little balcony. A tiny little balcony where the sun shines, and they've grown a couple of pots of tomatoes. Hey ho, you're not paying during the summer, or you're not paying £2 a kilo for tomatoes. You only get a glut of tomatoes towards the end of summer and the price starts to come down. Now, at the moment, tomatoes are relatively cheap in places because there was a glut, and the plants are still producing in places like Spain, etc. So, when I bought the bag of tomatoes with my shopping that were 59p, that is a bargain. So I'm going to pick them up. Always pick up fresh food that's on offer. I have been lucky with yellow sticker and oleo of late. I have to say that has helped me tremendously. But I could have got through without, if the truth be known. I could have, pulled my belt in a bit further and got through. But the food is there. It's knocked down. I'm going to take advantage of it, definitely. And I will continue to take advantage of the yellow sticker and of oleo because I'm paying for it. I'm supporting them. So as long as there's something there that I want and there's time left to pick it up, I'll go and pick it up. And the reason why the handbag is here, this was my last Vinted purchase. Not buying anything else from Vinted for at least a month now. And I bought it. It's accessorised. It doesn't even look like it's been used. It's got a crown on it there. And it is pure leather. Pure cow leather. And I got it for, let me have a look. I got it for £12 something. I'll show you the book in a minute because I've made it up. 100% cow leather lining, 100% polyester, made in India, accessorised London. Nice size bag, got a big pocket there for my phone and a zip on the other side, and just big enough with a nice broad strap for over my shoulder. I've been in desperate need. I keep knocking that one and bits are starting to fall off it. So I could do with yet another black one, but that will be for next month. Spent enough this month. I think that's why I'm sort of going to carry on, is that it has become second nature to me now. And therefore, while I'm getting the bargains and I can put the money to one side for any future things that I need doing, I will. But I'm not going to go short myself. I had a trial beauty treatment on Wednesday. That's why I was out on Wednesday. And I have put it on my credit card. It won't go on my book. It's gone on my credit card. And I'm going to have a follow-up to it to see whether I can have, now what did she call it? It's not a filler, hyaluronic acid it is. So not filler where it's a gel and sits in your face. It just naturally plumps you up a little bit. It may last, it may not. It varies on people. Some people it'll last a year on, some people 6 months. But you need a minimum of 2. And I got it on offer because it is a friend of a friend, shall we say. And she needed some willing victims to come for her to try this product out. I'll give you the name of the product. It's called Profilo. But it is not a filler. That's its name. It is not a filler. So it doesn't sit there like fillers do. This activates your own collagen, and it's quite a relatively new product, as in the last 5 years sort of thing. Not like, you know, some things like Juvederm, Sculptra. I know all the names of them because I've googled them so many times. They are your true fillers because they've got other things in them that sit, and therefore it has to be dissolved to come out. Hyaluronic acid is something that's naturally in the body, so that's why it's natural to go in. It's not alien to the body at all. So I've got a second one mid-December. I'm going to ask her about the asymmetry on my face, because this side of my face is much fatter than this side. I've lost a lot more volume on this side of my face than I have on this. So I'm going to see what she can do, and that will help me make my mind up how I move forward about my face, because I still haven't decided what I'm going to do. And I know it's negatives, there's positives, etc., etc., but it's very personal to me how I feel about it. And yes, it may not be cheap, but these two treatments haven't been expensive at all. I've got them at a good price, and therefore it's going to give me a taster of what I may be able to achieve going down the non-surgery route, or do I continue to go down the surgery route? I don't know. My mind isn't made up at the moment, and therefore that's why I'm still researching it, you know. So, but at least this person's closer to home, and yes, she's very good, very, very good. Because I can mark dreadfully. Someone comes near with a needle and I can mark. And I had 10 injections the other day, 10, and not one of them has marked, not one, which I take my hat off to her, you know, because when I went to Liverpool and she gave me a skin brightener, I had a bruise there straight away. What this lady does, because I said to her, you know, I don't want any bruises. I really don't want any bruises. And she said, I'll stretch your skin. There we are. No bruises. There we are. All I'd like to say is thank you so much for all the support you've given me over the last year. All the lovely comments about getting to the end of my year's challenge and being there with me every step of the way. It's been great. You know, it can be hard at times because things don't go right when you're editing or not uploading properly. Yeah, there's headaches there with the technical side of things for sure. But I will continue twice a week or once a week for as long as I can. And thanks for everything, really. I mean it from the bottom of my heart, that, you know, you've all been brilliant. You've all been absolutely brilliant. And I'm glad all the money's gone to the 3 people now. That's all sorted. Bertie, come here. Here. Hey. Bertie's back, and he's like toast because he's sunbathing. He is red hot at the moment. He keeps wandering off into the bedroom to cool down, and then he comes through, trots back through, legs akimbo to get hot again, and then he cools down again, don't you, babe? Don't you? Your mummy's boy? Mummy's boy. What does Bertie want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? What's Santa going to bring you? We found your Christmas card, didn't we? When we were going through to find all the Christmas stuff. And the Christmas card you sent me last year. Shall we show them in a minute? Shall we? You're listening to every word I'm saying, aren't you? Every word. You're going to say bye-bye. Bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Good morning and welcome back to Living on a UK State Pension. And even though my year is up, I'm still going to be living on my UK State Pension, but only saving a proportion of my civil service pension. I want to spend it on things that will give me enjoyment. Now, I'm always after value for money, and that will never change. That won't change. So I sent for yet another white stuff dress. I think this one was £3.50, but I'll give you the breakdown on the screen. It's slightly shorter than the first one, but I just thought it'd be nice in spring. I can wear it with a woolly in the winter. It does need an iron where it's been in the package, but in the spring I can wear it with the denim jacket that I got out of a charity shop near where my husband lives. It's lovely and stretchy. It's not stiff, you know, where you feel like you're in a straight jacket. It's a really nice one. Collar up. Yeah, and the dress has got pockets, and it's just enough to tip the top of the boots, but I could also wear black tights, as I got some loafers the other day in the sale in Clark's after trying everywhere. I don't know how many shops we went into in Chelmsford, but anyway, pleased with this. I think all in all it came out at maybe £8, but I will put it on the screen. So that's white stuff dress number 2. Dress number 3, similar price, £3 plus insurance plus postage. Yeah, it's got the higher neck, which I'm not too fussed about, but it's got much longer sleeves. They're not 3/4 length sleeves. But my idea was to wear this when, you know, you're going somewhere and it's really chilly. So I bought this jacket in Primark. I thought as an extra layer, which is nice. Not too bad. They're picking out the maroon colour in it. They still call it maroon, or do they call it burgundy now? You know, names change. I like that I can turn the sleeves back and you've got a little bit of detail, because I've got short arms. Short arms, unfortunately. I'm after a burgundy scarf, so that I can have a scarf around my neck, a nice thickish burgundy one, to be able to wear it like that and not have to worry about jewellery. But yeah, again, nice length with the boots, and so simple. Dresses are so simple, aren't they? You know, you haven't got to think about a top and a bottom and shoes and everything else. Pair of boots, dress, you're done. As long as you've got your underwear on. But yeah, I love it. I love it. Love the colours in it. So I'm going to send for either a burgundy, probably the brown in it, mocha colour scarf. Bertie's listening to every word I'm saying. Aren't you, baby? You're listening to every word I'm saying. Yes, you are. Who loves you? Does Mummy love you? You know I do, don't you? So yeah, I think the mocha colour, and I think that'd be nice, because I've got brown trousers. I've got a lovely jumper I'm going to show you in a minute that I bought from Marks and Spencer's outlet store. And that's next on the agenda. It's a jumper I got from the Marks and Spencer's outlet store. I've got the label at the back. I'll have to take a photograph of it. Don't know whether I can see it. should have been £39.50, and I got it, show you that, and you see it should have been £39.50 and I got it for £25. It's a small. I went through the rack, they had no small. I loved it the minute I saw it because it's nice and thick. It's got that little bit of a fringe detail. I've got brown trousers on that need altering again. My brown boots, the short crocodile type ones. And I just thought how lovely. I've got short arms, so I can turn that up a nice cuff, or certain things I can wear slightly longer. I don't mind either way. I quite like the chunkiness at the bottom, like that. So, and of course, if I do get the brown scarf to go with the other dress, because this is silk, so there's not much, not a lot of thickness to it. And I can tuck that in, bring that out like that. So no pockets in the trousers, which is a shame. And yeah, love it, because it will go with black or brown. So I can have a black and grey scarf, black and white scarf on with it. And yeah, well worth £25. And it was just that I saw her cross the store pushing a rail that had about 5 of these on the front of the rail. And she just brought them out of the warehouse, and I ran over and I said, is there a small on there? And she said yes. She handed it to me. So I went to the changing rooms and tried it on, and yeah, love it. Because I could wear it with, I have got a body warmer that I could wear it with, put a vest underneath, and yeah, it would be plenty thick enough to get in and out of the car and do some local shopping or whatever. Right, these are some very, very old black Marks and Spencer's trousers. They've got a little bit of elastic at the, 2 little bits of elastic at the sides here. And they've got 2 zip pockets at the side, and they wash. I've got fur coming off this jumper. They wash up lovely, and they always look smart. I know I've seen them in navy. They were from the outlet store about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's one of their basics that they always do. And I love the width of them. And these are the new Clark's loafers that I bought. I will get some little pop socks to wear with them. And yeah, they're smart, so smart. Just finish off the look with black around the top there, cover my turkey neck up till I decide, am I going to have the turkey neck chopped? I don't know. But there we are. So I've had a spend up. The shoes were £45, but things I've gone through the wardrobe. I've gone through my wardrobe and I've tried to pick stuff that I can wear quite often. These jeans come out time and time again with different jumpers. My brown trousers come out. I wish they did these in brown. I wish they probably will soon. But I think I'm going to get the navy pair of them when I go over to the outlet next time. Get the navy pair as well, because they're such a comfortable trouser with that little bit of elastic at the side. Yeah, I think they do them in grey as well, like a charcoal grey. So yeah, really pleased with what I've bought. And of course I didn't actually pay for this. This was one of my birthday presents, so I still got £5 on that card to use up. This was £25. And I gave her the £30 gift card. She said to me, don't throw it away, it's still got £5 on it. So I said, no, I've got it, thank you. So yes. So I've still got a little bit of money to spend in Marks's, and I'm very, very grateful that I've got an outlet on my doorstep, because they have some real bargains in their stuff that is still in the shops at full price. And very lucky that walked into Clark's. I always know a 4.5 is going to fit me in the standard width. And they've got a sale on, and instead of £90, they were £45, which is still dear for a pair of shoes, but at the end of the day, these will come out year after year after year. People have been wearing loafers since I was a teenager, and they became fashionable with skinheads. You wore loafers back then, and you wore patent loafers just as I'm wearing now. And we used to put, what are they called, Blakey's? The metal things on the back so that they didn't wear down quick, and all you could hear coming down the road was click, 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 like you were about to start tap dancing or something, you know. Crazy really, isn't it? But there we are. Quickly run through the book before I take Bertie on his second walk. I ordered myself 90 pairs of contact lenses. As I've explained, I only wear one. So there's 90 there. Don't wear them every day. And they sent me a free pen. Go in my pen pot. They came out at £35.72. Showed you the Primark fleece that I bought. That was £9. Both of those. The Vinted bag was £12.25. I showed you both dresses. One at £5.70 and the other at £8.58. My Clark shoes, which I said they had a 50% label off them, and yet get to the till and it's only 25% off. So it just shows you. But £45, so they were a lot less than they should have been at 60, so I don't mind. And as I said, they will last and last. I can't find my train ticket, but I've got it somewhere. £17.20 return to Chelmsford. I know, disgusting. I know the budget is a supposedly frozen train fare, but don't even get me started on the rest of it. Went in the hospice shop near my husband's the other day and bought the diary for £2.50. My lunch in Chelmsford in M&S was a coffee and a toasted tea cake at £6.50. And I bought a book of second class stamps, £6.96, which makes my total spend of £15.96 from my spending money at the moment. So there we are. I shall probably have a coffee with a friend tomorrow. It's my turn to pay after Aquasize. So get rid of that. I have found yet a cheaper contact lens company called Soft Lenses, and I'm going to send for a trial. You can get a cheap trial. It took me a while to get used to these because I used to have Focus Dailies. These are cheaper than Focus Dailies, but it took me a while to get used to putting them in. Now, that's why I'm going to do a trial with the Soft Lenses to make sure I'm not struggling to get them in or out and go from there. But -325, and I only wear them in my right eye. So that's all my spending so far. £133.45 on my credit card. £100 of that will be paid off automatically. 33, depending on what happens next month, how much I spend, is whether I take money out of my savings to pay some of my credit card bill off. But I'm still writing it down so that I keep track of it, because this is what was happening. I wasn't keeping track, and before I knew it, I was spending money like water. Time to open my first box. So I found number one. I'm going to have to write on them, I think, at this rate. It took me ages to find it. So I've got a skinny whip bar. And what flavour is it? Toffee. So that's that one done. And this morning I've made some more chocolates, but these are probably going to go in the freezer, ready for Christmas. I may keep 6 out, put 6 in the freezer, and then next week I'm going to make another 12, just ready for Christmas, because when you think these are fibre, they've got only the chocolate that's the top and the bottom, which is half a square of chocolate, 34 calories, by the way, of chocolate. That's the only fat you've got in there. Everything else is fibre. Obviously, you've got the little bit of fat that's in the nut as well. When you consider a normal chocolate, as in Quality Street, Celebrations, Heroes, all of that, is probably half fat, half sugar. So the glycemic index on this, and I will be talking about glycemic index and glycemic load more, because I follow a chap on Instagram, and I will put his name on the screen when I talk about him, and he is absolutely brilliant at proving science, the science behind the way we eat and how it affects our bodies. But for now, I'm going to have a cuppa and my toffee skinny bar, which haven't they shrunk in size? Oh, and I meant to say, and I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember. I know it's definitely sprouts and carrots, but I can't remember anything else because I took the photograph of it. Lidl, I believe it's between the 19th and 24th, have got their cheap veg for 8p. But I'll put the photograph that I screenshot on the screen for you to see. They're the first to declare what they're going to have cheap in store prior to Christmas, the Christmas veg. Thanks for watching. I know it's a bit long, this one, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll be back with some Christmas bits and pieces. Well, at least the decorations anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.